Alright, today we start with all the ambition. What a mess of save files. Alright. Let's get back into this. Did you miss it? No! Today is the day where I hope to finish. I remember what to do. Alright. So, this is where I want to align two projectiles with perfect 0-degree angles and teleport out really fast so that they don't break before the Terra unloads. I have to check the timer. Let's enter the door at 44 on the clock. And see how our first attempt of the day goes. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome, Dr. Tuan. There's always a magic to the first attempt. Even if it's just the first attempt of the day. There sure is, isn't there? Alright, let's see. Swap. Align them, please. Well, the magic vanished pretty rapidly. Yeah, I feel that might happen. I'm not used to having the two projectiles that close at that point in time. I think the correct move would have been to just not swap, hope they are already correctly angled, and just go. Are those high enough up? Let me see. Maybe. Let's try it. Enter the door at 44. Dum ba dum ba dum ba. Ba, 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 ba. How did I even find a setup this consistent? But yeah, as I thought, it was just barely too low. Getting the feeling back to judge shots in advance. one was good. Just gotta hit the jump. I do struggle a bit with the part that I'm doing on controller, and that's just natural because I didn't really have any controller experience before this. It is holding me up a bit. But at the same time, I don't want to just do everything on keyboard if it's convenient to do something on controller. I think that one's too low. Hi Cosmic, have fun lurking. Yeah, that's like the exact same situation as before. Welcome D-Numbers, you missed a day. Well, what you missed was me breaking one of the walls in the final escape. Now there's just, quote-unquote, 2 walls left, which is why I'm bringing 2 projectiles. One less bash, enter at 29? Maybe? Hi Lord Cake, thank you for the good luck. What? I said enter at 29, but that's so far away. What happened? I distinctly remember seeing 49 here. This is weird. I think I screwed this one up and I have no idea how. I'm confused. Am I finishing? Yeah, I was by like 20 seconds off. Sometimes brains are just weird. Sometimes brains are really, really weird. There is an attempt to be finishing. Dum ba dum bum ba. Let's just enter at 48. The farthest, oh, you can't see the escape on this thing? Hold on. The farthest I've gotten so far is here. I died here before. So it's just a little stretch left. I do have clean water. Just have to outrun Kuro here, bring a fish, bash the rocks. I said, what did I say? 49? One funny part about this entire thing is it's probably easier to catch 2 projectiles here than it is to catch 1. Because you can catch either, right? As long as it doesn't, well, hit you in the face like there. then that obviously doesn't work. Hi Lannis! Oop. Thank you for the good luck. Alright, have fun gaming. Da-dum, da-dum, ba. That seems a bit low, to be honest. It's definitely low. Da-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, ba. Pause? Teleport? Anything? With this setup it might be easier to catch too? Yes, with this setup specifically. Obviously there's other setups where you just either warp one in later or at a different angle, where that aspect doesn't help at all. So if you see me just missing the teleport there, or missing the jump on the teleporter, sure, that seems like a trivial thing, but on this particular setup, the timing on everything is so tight that my jump onto the teleporter and my teleport away has to be nearly perfect, which is why I go really closely around all the corners, and sometimes it will just happen that I miss it because of how optimized I attempt to do the movement. So that's really just a normal consequence of what I'm trying to do. Let's do one last bash 39. Actually, maybe just 39? Let's just do 39 with normal amount of bashes. Also, I was really good about remembering the timer early on in this playthrough, and then I just kind of got worse over time. But there you go. That screwed up my memory. Now I don't know anymore what the number was. Cool. Let's just enter at 43. Yeah. Bum, ba, dum, dum. I'm really happy about how the min-length bash setups worked out here. I don't really die there. And obviously min-length bashes save you so much time over max length. Cool. No. Not. Oh my god, help! I never know how to react to that. Once I see the second bash or arrow, the game tells me, oh, you didn't bash this projectile, really you bashed this projectile instead. And so far I've always failed to react correctly to that. Hi Bobbies, thank you for the good luck. Nope. Da-dum. That's not even the right button to walk right. There you go. You gotta say this looks absurd. Well, like, that's the fun of it. Bum, ba-dum, da-dum. Awkward timing? Let's try 5-8 with an extra bash. Not sure that'll work. Oh, yeah, I felt that being wrong. Deserve that, to be honest. After claiming I wouldn't die there anymore. La 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 bum. You can't even see either projectile. They are hiding behind the sunstone. I don't know how to handle this situation. I was almost at 23 on the clock, so I definitely enter at 54. But with what amount of bashes? Let's just enter at 54. See how it works out. Da-dum. Yeah, that works. Cool. How do I swap now, though? Oh, like that. Perfect. Don't get too far ahead. That triggered the rock. Now I should be fine. Alright. Da-da-da-dum. The show begins. Da-da-da-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, dum, ba-da-da-dum, dum, ba. Alright, so here I have to be careful not to trigger the rock too early. Calm down, Kuro. Oh, sure. There you go. Good. Quite good. I'm not sure this one will work. Because the ceiling has a little knob there. Okay. I don't think the angle of this one works. Okay. Gotta be careful here to not destroy either of the projectiles. Nice. You destroy this, please. Perfect. Camera. No need to rush. Gently slide down this wall. La 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 la. Dum. The second time I've been here. Oh, I need a bit of back and forth because the camera just doesn't want to move here. Now the easy part, there is no easy part. There is no easy part here. Oh. Okay, so you can wait here, so let's just kind of relax a bit. Oh, so much for the relaxation. That mortar sure does shoot you. Not sure I was aware of that. Wasn't there a safe spot here? I thought there was a safe spot somewhere here. Maybe you stay on top of the mortar and that's the safe spot? Hi, Infinite. Thank you for the Ori take. Not even half a second of relaxation. Yeah, the moment I said let's relax a bit on this very safe spot, had about half a second left to live. You can totally relax there. It didn't seem very relaxing, to be honest. 0 out of 10 relaxing. Would not die again. Can stand on the log next to the fire. Maybe I just shouldn't try to relax, you know. There's no reason to. Would have been nice to just think about the next move, but I don't think it was correct. 49, please. 1 extra bash. No relaxing, only stress. Hello, Cake. I have too many yellow names in my chat. If there's another yellow name, I'll just never know they're even there. So that was apparently too early. What does too early mean? Hey, let's go, Orange SG. Dum ba dum dum bum 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 ba dum bum ba dum da. Let me try my tea. No, bad Infinite. Yuan has a different orange though. That's a beautiful tea. And I don't actually know what this one is. This one was a gift. It's really good though. Chose a similar orange as Vori in this plan though. Yeah, it seems about right. Obviously the contrast is really different though, like at least I am seeing your name color on a dark gray-blue blackish background, and in the game it's on a lot lighter colors, so the color will just look vastly different. Hmm. I literally feel refreshed after drinking a bit of that tea. Let's go. Easy. Actually, that's pretty high up. Not sure if that works. High up is only a problem if the projectile breaks on the ceiling, because the ceiling bends a bit down there. I think it's too high, yeah. Just retry. I think that would have broken. And then I would have only had one projectile and been kind of sad. I don't think this is hard to do. Will that just break though? No. Well, I think I screwed it up now. Not sure. Dum, ba. So what exactly happens if I just don't warp? Like, that's weird, right? Am I forgetting to select this one? Also, you literally can't jump from Horu to Zoro on controller. It's weird. Yeah, maybe I'm just forgetting to press right, I don't know. Wait, does the controller input display even work? Stupid doesn't. The controller input display is so weird. I don't know, like, what makes it work. But if I just focus and unfocus the window a couple times, usually that does the trick. No clue. Seems too high. Bum, dum, ba, dum, ba. That seems too low. This is, in fact, quite precise. Oops. Does controller override keyboard mouse? The game automatically switches between the control scheme if you press a controller button or a keyboard mouse button. I'm not sure what would happen if you used both at the same time, to be honest. I don't like this one. But yeah, the only reason I do all of this is because on the controller I can use the D-pad to aim my bashes, which means these angles will be perfect. Actually, that angle was not perfect. I must have released it too early or something. Which is highly desirable, because otherwise the angle are a huge source of failures. I'm not sure about this. I think the second one is too low. That seems good. Ba dum ba. Let's enter at 44. You sure you tested this previously and didn't find anything useful? Using controller and keyboard at the same time? Whee! Oh, that's really low. Don't break. Thank you. Can you make this any more awkward? Yeah, that was very scuffed. And mapping controller to keyboard. I guess that's done sometimes. For Alt U. Bum bum. One less bash, 43. The other way around, okay. Ba-dum, dum. Okay, cool. Think I'm gonna break one. Oh, I somehow caught it. Okay, that was really cool. And way too close, but let's not worry about that part. Dum, ba-da. Dum bum ba dum da. Careful, careful. Don't lose any of the projectiles you're juggling. Okay. Fine. Not a problem. Caught the wrong one there. That really only barely worked. Dum ba dum. Alright, got through the tight corridor. Da-da-da-dum, dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum. Nope. It seems like my setup for that wall isn't actually very good. I'm bashing against the left wall because I'm thinking it'll give me more airtime for the elemental to shoot. But I guess I could instead try to be far right, so I'm closer to the projectile to catch it. Switching between control schemes helps with double bashing, you think? It makes a huge difference when you do the analog debash? Wait, how do you use switching control schemes for double bashes? Like, what's the setup for that? I don't know how analog debashing works, so I might just be missing the context on this. That's definitely farther right than usual. So I guess I have to enter a bit earlier than usual. So usually I would enter at 05 here. But that might be a bit late now. So I could do an extra bash, I guess. No, the analog stick for direction. And the bash binds are bound to keyboard. Huh. Okay, no, that was too early now. Well, there are tricks in Ori 2 where you specifically want to switch between control schemes because it lags the game a little bit and that affects things. I'm not sure what the black magic is in this case. Yeah, it would be something like that. One less bash, 43. Can I afford one less bash if there's a Baneling? So one less bash, 43, should be equivalent to 2 more bashes, 44. So let's do that instead. Because otherwise I think I would have just been too late here. Okay. This isn't great. And I don't think it's salvageable either. Wow, how did that not even break? Hold on. Okay, give me a moment, I lost sound. There you go. Dun, ba-da-dum, It's fine, no need to worry. Swap. Okay. Is this angle fine? This angle should be fine. Giant volcanic rock in the way. Dum ba da 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 dum da dum da dum. That's the wrong one, I think. Indeed. Good save. Camera, please. How am I gonna do this? Without camera? Can only aim at spots that are on screen. Alright, past the tight corridor. Now it's the projectile's time to fulfill their purpose and break the walls that block my way. Let me try to aim this in there, aim this in there. Cool, nothing broke from Kuro's falling log. Da 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 dum, da 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 dum, ba dum, da da da. Okay, different strategy. Just go right. Works. Da 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 dum, da 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 dum, ba dum. I forgot about the zigzag. Luckily, I'm not yet off camera. Da 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 dum, ba da 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 na 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 da da da. Farther than I've ever been. Alright. Gotta wait a bit here for the camera to catch up. This fish has very limited health. Oh. And it's also now in the fire. I don't think... Wait, do I need to avoid the Kuro kill plane here? I guess it would be good to avoid the Kuro kill plane here. Bum ba da da dum bum ba da da dum bum. I don't think I strictly need to. Da 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 dum ba da 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 dum bum 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 ba. So, if you activate Kuro, I guess I should account for both. I can try to disable the Kuro kill plane, which would be convenient, because you know if the fish will last up to that bend. It definitely lasts up to here. You can't even bash it straight up. If I skip the Kuro kill plane, I could try to go straight up. But I could also just activate Kuro, or if that happens, go to here, to this bend. But I don't remember exactly if just standing here makes these small rocks spawn. So I guess I'll just try. You have to go around the bend? I'm not sure if you have to. I just try to go close to the ceiling for the chance to avoid spawning Kuro. Maybe that'll work. Then I can try to go straight up. Otherwise I can stand here and check if that spawned the small rocks. Bum, ba, dum, da. Pretty high. Pretty good pause though. I'll try these. One extra bash. 43. Dum, bum, bum, bum. Nice. Bum, ba. That might just be barely far enough left to work. One less bash. 41, methinks. Okay. 2 more bashes, 42 instead. Da-dum-ba. I feel like I saw the other one, but maybe I was imagining. Either it broke immediately, or it just wasn't there. Bum, 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 ba. And red 42. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Okay. One projectile is not in fact helpful. So my best guess, if there's just one projectile, is that the projectile in front already got destroyed back here in Sorrow. Like, that one would be destroyed. And only the projectile in the back manages to go out of bounds and reach me all the way in Horu. Whoops. That's fine, I heal anyway. Bum, 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 bum. One less, 43. I screwed up. It was a normal amount of bashes. So I would have to enter a bit after 43, I guess. That's what I want to avoid, having to enter a bit after. Well, have I been cursed? Will there now only ever been one projectile? Too low. Whoops. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. One more. 53. Kaboom! Bum, ba. Ooh, very close to the ceiling. Let's not. I'd like to have 2 projectiles, please. Not just one. Bum, ba. Bum, ba. Enter at 43. Nonsense. 03. Bum, bum. Whoops. Never mind, that's perfect. Nice. Ah, went just slightly too far ahead of that. That's a sad one. Bum. Bum. Thing is, I don't trust these anymore. They're that close to the ceiling. And I'm not really pausing as fast as I could, so they also traveled a bit right already. I just don't trust them anymore. One less. 42. Never mind. 2 more 43. Nice. I was tight on the timer anyway, so that wasn't recoverable. Way too far right, right? I moved pretty well, but it's also close to the ceiling. Bum 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 bum. One more 43. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum. I'm not entirely sure what the issue is when having just one projectile. I guess, yeah, it was maybe, again, too close to the ceiling, so I lost one of them in Sorrow before it even had a chance to travel to Horu. Could be. Not entirely sure, but could be. So the second one is kinda high, but the first one is low, and I think that's fine. That should be fine. Enter at 44. Well, that wasn't close at all or anything. Ow! Did I just not buffer my bash out of the door there? I don't trust these, not anymore. I would like to have this one farther left. I think that's key here. So angle it just a bit more. Then there's more time I have to despawn the terrain around it. Oh, that's so close to the ceiling though. Bum, ba. I want to angle it more left. Let's try to adjust to that. Is it even 2 projectiles? Here it is. Enter at 11. Okay. Why? Because it's hard. That's just a difficult spot. It's dissatisfying because there is no visual reason it's difficult. It's literally just an invisible wall popping up and destroying the spider shot once you touch a certain rectangle. But that makes it quite deceptively difficult. Do I try this? No. Wow! Seems good. Enter at 51. Okay. That's fine. Just do one more bash here. Oh! That was too low. Harsh. Oh, I think I saw what was different there. Sometimes I walk off the teleporter differently. Maybe there's a certain... Wait. No. Oh no, maybe there's something I do before I die that affects my movement slightly after I respawn. And that's why it just feels different sometimes. No, 05. Is it accelerating? Can confirm. Rude! Oh, it's too far right. Sure. The thing is, with enemies, you can visually see if you have a fake bash. Because usually if you bash enemies, they have... yeah. This yellow highlight, and on a fake bash it's not there. But projectiles have no highlight if you bash them. So there's also no visual feedback on a fake bash. Ba-dum, da-dum, ba-dum, ba. I don't like this. 54, one extra bash? Or not? Maybe just 54? They're pretty close to each other. I feel like that means I can enter earlier. Just 54. Maybe I should do the double bash on that more often, just because it gives you time to aim. I haven't thought about that before. Well, now it's too late. It's too much work to incorporate it into the setup now. But if you want to have time to aim something, a max length bash is not your only option. You could also do a double bash with 2 min length bashes. That would be significantly faster, but still give you enough time to reliably aim. Like, there's one max length bash I have in there. It would probably be preferable 43, one less. 43, 43. It would probably be preferable to replace that with a double bash, but then I'd have to figure out all my timings again. So I'm not actually gonna do that now. I think I was supposed to do one less bash. Maybe it still works. Okay, yeah, it did. It's not how it usually works out, because again, I was supposed to do— oh my god! That was, again, the case where it betrayed me in terms of with which projectile I was actually aiming. Never quite ready. Never. Actually, they're pretty low. No, I don't trust it. That was like the perfect positioning height-wise, but they were so far right already. Ba-dum, dum, da-dum, da-dum, da. Should be good. Seems quite good. Let's just enter at 55. How was that a second too early now? Oh no. Sometimes I mess up. I guess it's kind of a mental flowchart for this. Mapping out the situations and what to do. But brains do make mistakes sometimes, and I end up with the wrong result. Ooh. Do I trust these though? I don't think I do. Bum, dum, ba, dum, bum. La 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 la. Way too high. That's not good, I don't know what is. That seems perfect. Oh, actually the first one is higher than I thought. Still should be pretty good. One more bash. 22? Yeah. Actually, a double bash wouldn't help with that one, because the second bash doesn't affect the projectile's aim. Just helps if I want to aim myself longer. I am past the rock again, finally. Let's handle the first tight corridor. Those were some good swaps. Swap on the ceiling. Swap on the floor. Giant magma rock in the way, that's fine, I can take some damage. Might wanna do a zigzag here, although those are kind of risky. Camera? Thank you. Up into the sky. Giant lava pillar erupting. Okay, be really careful the falling log doesn't destroy either projectile. I mean, it didn't. Yeah, so the ceiling there is definitely not flat. The ceiling has some bumps that you can get stuck on if you try to use it for alignment. Whoa! What are you doing? Well, there were a lot of things wrong with that attempt. So why exactly am I not redirecting both shots to the right anymore? That never happened before. Or I might be redirecting the back projectile too far to the right, so I don't catch it anymore. That's too low. That's... they're really far right, but the height is very good. So maybe this works? I should probably try it out. The far right. Bit farther than usual. Let's do one extra bash. No, but usually in this scenario I would enter at 19. No, wait. 29? No, 19. 19 is right. 19. Let's just do the usual. I don't think the difference of them being a bit further matters that much, but we'll see. Bum, ba, dum, ba. Oh, yeah, I still do that mistake sometimes. Usually I should have entered at 20 there. Bum, ba, dum, ba. I wonder if that actually had a chance of working. La 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 la. I like the looks of this one. One more bash. 25, not 4. 25. Da. Well, I'll just assume that was 15, because 25 would make no sense. Yay! I don't really like this one. Got through at least. Nice. I like the setup. Should be well able to guide my dual projectiles around this falling rock. Through the tight corridor. I think I actually have the other one. I had a feeling. Because I was not closer to that one, that made no sense. This is really extremely awkward, and I'm not sure what to do about it. Should probably literally do a zigzag here. Okay. Yeah, okay. I aimed a bit too high to catch the projectile I intended to catch. Sure. At least after this one, no one will be able to say you couldn't do interesting things with Bash. I mean, you can totally still not like Bash, that is always fair. But there's definitely a lot of tech behind it. 08. Also welcome, Spines. No, 09. Stop doing that mistake. It's bad. 09 is what I want. Sad, what I'm doing is uninteresting. Slash disagree. Okay, I have them both here, that's cool. Now let's just carefully get past the rock. Da 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 dum dum ba da da dum ba dum ba dum da dum. Go swap. Oh, go back to the front. La 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 la. think this should just work. Yeah, the rock here doesn't drop that fast. That's definitely one of the less menacing rocks in terms of destroying my projectiles. Dum, ba, dum, ba, dum. That's the same bump. Okay, now I can visually see it. It's this rock here. So I have to aim at this piece here, which is in fact a flat ceiling. This right here is just a trap. This is the flat ceiling. Pum pum. Enter at 57. Might have paused a bit late there though. Da, dum. Okay, let's do the thing. Through the very difficult rock passage. Having the projectiles close together is certainly convenient here. Can't really go wrong with that. Da 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 dum bum ba da da dum da dum. Okay then. Just get hit, to be honest. Or not. Then not, I guess. Don't want to trigger the rock yet. Definitely do a zigzag here. Dum. Ba dum da dum. Dum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba dum da dum da. Okay, this will be a difficult one. Didn't set this up very well. Let's just make sure that I don't get ahead of the projectile. That works. Maybe the ground is just better than the ceiling there. Here we are again. One wall broken. Okay, I can take damage here. Nothing to worry about. Do a little zigzag so the camera can chill. I can't watch anymore, this one has to win. La 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 la. Alright. If Sarah says it, has to be true. Scary stuff. Okay, that's a Kuro activated. Yeah, the small rocks fall! There they are. I need a right one though! They were all on the left! Didn't want to just jump in. Okay, that works though. Now I know. I think how far left or right these rocks fall is random. I probably could have caught one of these, but it definitely would have been much less scary if just one fell on the right side. Yeah, that was rough. Well, let's proceed. By the way, thank you for the follow. Albert Oxy? Albert Oxy? There's definitely multiple ways to read that name. Whoops. Let's calm down a bit. That's too high, I feel. Dum ba dum da dum ba da dum bum ba dum. Whoops. I shouldn't angle that one so far right. Because then I risk not catching it anymore. Ba-dum. That was probably too low anyway. Too high. I don't know. Worth trying. Enter at 16? Should be 16, but really only the last digit matters. If I get the first digit wrong, it's not a problem. I mean 17, right? Yeah, I think I mean 17. Do I though? 16 or 17? Let's do 16. No, it was 17. Dang it. Da-dum, dum-da. This jump onto the teleporter is really precise, because in that case I held jump slightly too long, which means I jumped slightly too high, which means I just couldn't teleport away in time. It's certainly deceptive. I don't like this. Yeah, that bash angle from the spider was not good. I want a really good one. I just don't want to end up there with one projectile or anything. That would be a huge time waste. I got to the teleporter pretty fast. So maybe? Yeah, maybe. Let's do an extra bash and enter at 07. No. Am I in time now, though? Oh, just barely. Just barely. We go again. Once more with feeling. La 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 la. Ding. Dum ba dum bum bum ba dum. Nice. Camera will be a bit sketchy here, but there's not a lot of space to do a zigzag. Alright, cool. Let's catch this before it hits the floor. Well, it hit my face instead. Faster! Need more speed. Bum ba. Not this one again. Let's just enter at 45. There's definitely some variants of the clock I'm more familiar with than others. Yeah, that was good though. Definitely could not have entered later. They're not quite on top of each other. Yeah. And that meant one was too far back. I could have tried to swap, but if they're like they were so close that it was gonna be difficult to swap. But not close enough to where I could avoid breaking it on the rock. Maybe though. $49. Let's just try it. That can't be good. Hello there, Fireburner, and welcome to what may indeed be a bash-only escape. I suppose how else would you end what is intended to be the most difficult Plandomizer that has ever been verified by a human and published for Ori and the Blind Forest? Dun, da. The good news is I'm quite far into this bash-only escape. It could literally happen on this attempt. I thought even Tuon couldn't do that when he was trying a bash-only run. So it is! But as time passes, players accomplish things they couldn't do before. There's multiple problems to a bash-only escape. Obviously one is just to get the projectiles you need. That's a bit high. In summary, what I already did was I broke this wall right here. That is one key component without entering the escape. Because if you enter the final escape, a rock falls here and blocks you from ever entering it again. So you can only go into here once. You can't break the walls one by one. However, up here in the entrance room, without having to enter the escape, you can load this wall. So one step that I have already done was to angle a projectile. I think I took it from here, so that it hits this wall perfectly, and then angle another projectile so you can catch it in this room. I did that one from here. And then load this wall here in at the perfect time so that this projectile passes right through it when you load it. Yeah, that is really cool. And then you can also, since you are up here, after you have hopefully broken this wall, of course you have no idea whether you actually did, you have to check that later on, you can go over here and activate the final escape. So the final escape is already activated. That's important because this cutscene is really long. I can't watch that cutscene without losing my projectile. So right now on the save file, this wall is broken, final escape is already activated, and that's all the preparations I can do. Now I try to get 2 projectiles at once, and carry the 2 projectiles, both of them at the same time, through the first half of the final escape up to here. Because with those 2 projectiles I can break these 2 walls. And then after that this elemental can save me from dying in the fire, and I can try to bash my way through, take a fish to here, and then take the small rocks up. And the farthest I've been was right here. I failed to grab the small rocks to get up. That's my best progress so far. So yeah, literally, can happen any attempt now. What exactly did I do? Was I meant to teleport now? I don't remember. Has the plan been finished already? No! It has not. This would be the first finish, indeed. In fact, the next closest player... One moment. Alt P. So this is... Whoops. The final node. It actually doesn't show the node count anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. I think it was like 26 nodes. The next closest player is actually on node 9. And the next closest player after that is also on node 9. And the next closest player on that is actually also at node 9. That's because node 9 is really difficult and long. We tried this again after Takeaway and succeeded. I guess then Cosmic is directly responsible for this, because Cosmic was the creator of Takeaway. Probably over 100 hours to figure out, so I'll get this way faster. Does seem like it. I don't remember exactly when I started. Might be, I don't know, 12 hours into it or something? These projectiles are very close to the ceiling and relatively far right, so I don't think these will work. I want to get my 2 projectiles into very particular positions. Like that. Knowing that it's possible is already a big help with things like this. Yes, for sure. Okay. So I want to enter the final escape door at 43 seconds. Can't imagine spending 100 hours without knowing that. 43 is what I said. I mean, yeah, I also literally didn't. I only tried it now that Aplano told me, hey, this is definitely possible. How about you try it out? You just love ramming your head against problems like this. That's exactly why you should play Hero Spirit. I have something. Oh, but see, the second projectile was slightly too low here, so it actually broke on the floor. That's why the positioning is so particular on this. If they're just slightly too high, they break back here in Sorrow before I can unload the terrain around them. But if it's just slightly too low, then they break in Mount Horu. And really the best part about this, like the warp shots are great and all the ideas you can put into which warp shots you want to use, how you set them up, etc. How about beating this Plando blind? How about not? I do. I would love that so much. The problem is, it's such a good game, but I don't really know who to recommend it to. And I just really want to watch someone play it. Obviously, selfish reasons. But also you would really enjoy it, I'm sure. 26. Okay, let's enter the final escape door at 57. I will answer after this attempt. 57, I said. Because that's not a one-liner. Actually, should I? I mean, anything I say about the game is a kind of spoiler, right? I think Tuan already watched a trailer, though. Yeah. Is this too late now? No? Okay, so this is what I want. I have 2 projectiles. And this is where the best part of this begins. Because I have to carry them quite a while. So here I have to make sure that the rock doesn't fall and break one of them, which is actually deceptively difficult. As you can see, I broke one of them. That attempt didn't go very far. Tunic is on your list too. Hero Spirit is like a top-down exploration game, I guess. But the special thing about it is that it's like an okay game to just play and finish. It's not bad, but it's not special either if you just go and finish it once and roll the credits. But I don't know, I just felt like playing it a bit again after having beaten it to just see, I wonder what I missed. You know, that clearly there was more to this game. I wonder what I missed. And that's the special moment in this game. Because, like, the post-game is 95% of its content. And you don't feel that during your first playthrough. Because it's all kind of hidden and obscure. And unraveling all the layers and discovering all there is to do is just incredible. That's Hero Spirit. Dum, dum, da, dum, ba, dum. I shall enter at 44. Put it on the wish list and notify me if I end up playing or streaming it. Do! I'd love to get more players to the game. The issue for the game is it has no marketing. It's just like an independent studio with like not a ton of BG. It has no way to spread unless someone recommends it. That's another reason why I want to recommend it. It's the only way it can get a little bit more known. I believe I said 44. I sure did. However, I only see one projectile. And I have no idea what happened to the other one. There's plenty that a small team can do in terms of marketing without budget. Maybe? I definitely don't know much about it. Bum, ba, dum, bum, bum. Let's just enter at 47. Yeah, right. I understand why that was too late. So I should have done one more bash there. There's a lot of complexities to when I want to enter that door. But really the core problem is that the in-game timer only shows full seconds. And I have less than a second of leeway on when I have to enter the door. However, I can kind of manipulate it because the in-game timer runs while I'm in this bash wind-up animation. But obviously all the projectiles are paused. And if I just tap bash, the minimal length of this animation is exactly 20 frames. So that's why I do differing amounts of bashes, so that I can offset the in-game timer by either 20 or 40 frames. And then I can time on the full seconds. And 20 frames leeway does seem to be enough. So here I want to do one more bash than usual. And then I enter at 03 on the clock, is my idea. Dum. So here I'll do my extra bash by just making this a double bash. That way the in-game timer progressed by 20 frames. But the projectile did not, and now I'd hope that if I enter at exactly 03... that was pretty good, but not perfect. I got hit by one of the projectiles, so it was just a tiny bit off. But I'm not sure I trust these. Those might work, but I just don't want to go all the way to Horu and wait for them and then they didn't work. It's faster to retry and try to get a better setup. I don't know. Well, this definitely shouldn't be too high up. Whoops. Controller issues. Releasing a stick? I don't know, I guess that's what snapback refers to? I think that's what the controller pros call snapback. It's not very pleasant. Yep. I do have some controller pros in chat. Oh, but that's so close to the ceiling, I think it will break. Fix it by adjusting the center dead zone? So the center dead zone is like the area in which the input is not registered, I guess? I mean, it rarely ever happens. Is there a disadvantage to increasing the center dead zone that I would be likely to feel here? This is good. What do I do with this? If I enter at 23, I might be a bit early. Need to move the stick more to get an effect. This was pretty far away from 53. If I just enter at 24, I'm definitely too late. I can do one less bash and enter at 23. Oh, that pause wasn't very good. Kind of a scuffed attempt, to be honest. Sometimes it's the scuffed attempts that get salvaged. This is still just super scuffed. Those were terrible angles to work with. Bum-ba. Oh, let's try this though. I mean, it worked, yeah. Let's again, I don't know, but this one's different. But also do one more bash. Yeah, let's do one more bash, but then enter at 42. The reason that double bash chain is tricky is I have to do all the bashes on the minimal possible length. Because otherwise I screw up my in-game timer and the timings aren't gonna work out anymore. Which means I have to aim really fast. I think those are too high, to be honest. So these are pretty far right already, but they also have a good distance from the ceiling. So I'll take these. One more bash, 44. Okay. I'm kind of glad I completely butchered that one. Because I think I did one less double bash on the Baneling than usual, and that was gonna be really difficult to account for. Pause too late. Like, what? What happens when I don't teleport? I definitely selected the teleporter. I can't say I would even slightly understand. Probably... So what I do there is I press confirm for teleport and then start. Just start, close this menu. Yeah, okay. Because I do want to pause after teleporting, but the button that pauses also closes this menu. Yeah, so I probably just pause a little too early, and then I close the menu instead of teleporting. That makes sense. Bum, ba, dum, ba, dum, ba, da, dum, bum, ba, dum. One less bash. 55, I guess? $55. Same there. Those bashes have to be min length. Sometimes I just screw up the angle. Dum ba dum bum bum ba dum. Okay, let's just enter at 44 then. Dum. What? Excuse 11? Oh, my brains are so weird. I saw 11. Beautiful number, isn't it? 1, 1? Let's go in at 4, 4. Makes sense, right? That's great. That's my best explanation for that. Oops. And not? I think that's high enough. Not 100% sure. Let's do one more bash and enter at 04. My brain tried to convince me of 44 again, but no, that is 04. Dum, bum. No! Well, one hit me. Like, there's nothing I can do. If I get damaged, then I got damaged by a projectile, and the moment it damages me, it's gone. It seems like I should generally go in a bit earlier, doesn't it? Dum ba dum da. But again, I can only control in 20 frame intervals. Not sure if that's too high. So usually I would do one more bash here. One more bash and enter at 43. But I guess if I want to try entering a little earlier, I could also do one less bash, enter at 42 instead. Let's try that. Although I'm not even sure I'll have 2 projectiles. The front one was kind of high. Alright. 42 was the idea. So I enter a bit earlier. Um, Sometimes I just do... Okay, so I did 2 less bashes than planned there, though. So... Then the in-game timer progressed less. Then I'd actually have to enter a bit after 41. Sometimes the Baneling bashes line up so nicely that I think I'm doing less double bashes there, and that's just not a good idea. And then I get really confused about what to do. I have some distance from the ceiling, but I don't think it's enough. I should really move my controller display elsewhere, shouldn't I? I have too many overlays on this. Try this maybe? Have it more focused to the bottom. Why on earth did that bash angle move all the way around? By what logic? Dum ba dum da. I think that's too low. Yeah. The first one would be fine. Second one too low. I reset something like this earlier, but I'm not sure. It might also work. If I enter at 54, I might be a bit early, but that's fine. A bit earlier is not a problem, so let's just enter at 54. And see if I have both projectiles. Dum, da, dum, da, dum. No, yeah. So I was right to be suspicious about that lineup. Good to know. Next time I can be sure. Very high up. Dum, da, dum, ba. That's nothing I intended to do. And now it just breaks. Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to place him a little bit lower now. I think that should give me more lenience here. Just enter O5. Maybe. Might be a bit early, right? That would be possibly early, I think. This is hard! It's precision. Forgot my number, I think. O5. I think it was X5, actually, yeah. It's precision for the lineup, followed by math and good timing. Into incredible improvisation, because there's no way to consistently control these two projectiles for me. This is terrible. Like, I don't know how I'll work with this. Something like that, I guess? Yeah. That was terrible on a lot of levels. Yeah, and the rock, like, pushed me into the lava. Okay. Haven't gotten a deep attempt in a while now. La la bum ba bum ba. Pretty close to the ceiling, to be honest. Ugh! Sure. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that even works. The second one is really far up, but that might be fine. The front one seems well placed. Okay, enter at 03. Yeah, like the second one is pretty far up here, but that's not an issue. Both of them are here. That's the important part. Okay, this seems a little bit better. Still kinda scary that they're not on top, but I try to stay pretty far left there, and that worked pretty well. Don't get crushed by the rock into the lava this time, please. Wonderful. Past the 2 falling rocks. Time for the first corridor. Swap on the ceiling. Swap on the floor. That's a painful rock into my face. Where do I swap? Maybe on this wall? Then they'll be really far apart. It'll be difficult to work with. Let's try a short zigzag here. Try to get them both down. Ooh, that's so close to the ground. Let's do a zigzag here so the camera can catch up. Camera? Please? Thank you. Dum bum ba dum dum bum ba dum. Okay. Alright, projectiles, I brought you here to break these walls. Okay, nothing broke on the falling log, that's great. Number 1. Dum bum ba dum dum bum ba dum. Number 2. Oh, I need to do zigzag so the camera can catch up. Da-da-dum, ba-dum, da-da-da-dum. Perfect. No, why is there a wall here? Is there supposed to be a wall here? I've never encountered this. I guess an invisible wall spawns there if you go past it? I've never observed this before. Huh. Alright. Gotta get the fish out before that weird invisible wall spawns. I'm learning a lot about invisible walls in the Final Escape today that I never knew about. Well, that's basically just one spider projector. Awkward timing. One less bash. 42, maybe? It's my best idea. 42, one less. As that wall trigger is not the same trigger as the falling rock. Or it's just a timer thing. It's the same trigger, but the falling rock happens later. Also possible. I believe that I screwed up in like multiple ways. I can't salvage this. Like, I'm never gonna guess the correct timing. I guess I could have just, without even pausing and looking at it, entered at some random moment. Just for the slightest chance. What do you want? Okay. If they're this closely aligned, that makes this section a lot easier. Cool. Rocks, no problem. I'm kind of awkwardly stuck here. Cool. Definitely do a zigzag though. Da-dum, ba-da-dum, 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 ba-da-dum. I kind of want them angled a bit more to the right, but can't really swap here in midair. This is incredibly awkward. Maybe I'm supposed to do a zigzag here. Let's stay behind the projectile so it doesn't break from the log. I don't know. Yeah. Nice fake bash game. Bum. Alright. Although the height is good. Eh. Phantom Bashes? That's also a good name. Bum, bum. One more bash. Now this is actually 44. My brain is pleased. I said one more bash, yeah. Whoops, wrong button. That'll happen. I used to have a 2-button combination for Alt-R in like pre 4.0 rando, specifically to avoid this, but I swapped to just one button that I press in 4.0 because if I accidentally press it, I can just close the teleporter menu. Of course, this is like, I don't know, what kind of 4.0? It doesn't have the teleport Alt-R though. Fake bashes are when your double bash fails because the projectile is too far away. Phantom bashes are when you bash off of something the frame it gets destroyed. It's the same mechanic though. Like, those are different consequences, but those are not different mechanics. Too low. Da, dum, da, dum, da, da, dum, da. Whoops. Da, dum, da. Dum, da, dum. Too low? Second one might be too low there. Oops. Good. Try one more bash. 47? 07. La la la. Late. I can't entirely reconstruct why that was. Not sure. Bum, ba. Almost 10. But if I enter at 41 now, I might be too late, and I'd rather be a bit too early than too late. So let's do an extra bash and enter at 41. Wait. That's the first time it felt right, but was wrong. Usually I feel it before it actually kills me. That one felt just fine. Wait, let's just enter at 42. Da-dum. Alright, collect energy. Very close. Maybe it's fine. It was not fine. I would have to try to bash behind the projectiles in that scenario. If I'm in front of the projectiles, that just doesn't work out. I don't know. Don't know about that. Nope. Dum, da, dum, da. Those are pretty far away from the ceiling, so that might make up for them already having traveled to the right a bit more than I would wish for. So this is a scenario where I could just try to enter at 55, but I could also do an extra bash just in case, and I think I will. "55", I said. Ooh, okay. Kinda close. Why am I pausing so much? Nope. Alright. Short break. My brain wants to recover energy for a little while. It'll just be like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes or something. And then I'll continue attempts. Until then. Time to return, stronger than before. Seems good. Sometimes a short break can do so much. Incredible. Pretty far away from 11. Usually what I do in this situation is one less bash and 41. But I could also not do one less bash. Maybe that would be safer. And just do 41. Let's try that. Some of those were kinda close. Definitely closer than comfortable. Okay, so that was in fact too early. Yeah, I was pushing it slightly earlier and earlier because I felt like I was more commonly too late to see where the barrier was, and that was the barrier. That was too early. One of the projectiles broke on the left wall. Is that good enough? Oh no. Might have been. I'll try it, because it has a good distance from the ceiling. Mm, 42? Although last time, I think that's a pretty similar situation to last time where it was too early. So if it might be too early, I could do one less bash. 42. Oh no. Just seems like an awkward place to time from. Yeah. I guess with that particular setup, I'm right on the edge where the 20 frames that I have to control when I enter the door are not enough. Where like none of my options work. Oh no. Obviously I can try to just kinda delay my door entry a bit by feeling, and then I have more fine-grained control. Might have to do that in situations like that. Dum, ba, da, da, dum, da, dum. think it's too close to the ceiling. I think I tried this situation before and it did not work. Even though it looks like it should be close. Maybe if it was just a little further away? Way too close to the ceiling. Try to get them a bit down again. The way I do this is by doing the upcoming bash, this one here, just a little bit later. So everything has more time to travel down. I don't know. I'll try it. But the reason is mostly that it has a chance of working and I haven't tried one in a while. One more bash, I think, and then 09. At least I'm not doing a lot of 1-second errors anymore, where I enter 1 second too late. Or too early. Almost. Just got hit by one of the projectiles as I entered. Hello? Sometimes it does take longer to teleport, doesn't it? One more bash and 42. One more bash. 42 is what I said. Whoops. Am I playing some parts with joystick? Welcome Bokak. I am playing some parts with controller, yes. I'm not intended to play this part with controller. The reason isn't the joystick though. The reason is actually the D-pad. Whoops. Let me just get to the point where I can show why. So here I switch to controller, so that I can aim this bash with the D-pad, and this bash with the D-pad, which ensures that both of these projectiles travel at a perfectly horizontal angle. And that is important because I want to catch these exact projectiles in Mount Horu, which is extremely far away. And any deviation from the angle would make them end up in vastly different positions. So that's why I have a controller within my setup here. So entering the door at 57 on the clock might be a bit late here. Could do one more bash and then it should be fine. Oh no, I kind of misjudged that. Maybe enter at 57 with one less bash then. Alright. So this is just to get from the teleporter to the door. And now I want to enter this door right here. That entering this door will load the terrain on the other side exactly when both the projectiles are there so that I can catch them. There, one of the projectiles hit me. And I need both of them, so that's not gonna work. But that was really well timed. It was so well timed that I spawned right inside the projectile. Obviously that doesn't help. I want to spawn right next to it. Bum ba dum da. Alright, let me check the clock. It looks like... Let me see. Yeah. So when I paused, the timer just recently jumped to 11 seconds. So I could try to enter at 42 on the clock into the final door. But I might be a bit late. So I might want to do an extra bash. And then enter at 42. Oh no. I'm not sure what to do about this situation. It's difficult to time when exactly I want to enter the door. Okay, there I entered a bit too early, and the projectiles broke right here. That's why it's so important when I enter the door, because the moment I enter the door, all the walls load into place, and the projectiles have to be in the room by then, otherwise they will just break on the walls. That's not gonna work. Okay, seems like a good lineup. Now let me figure out what kind of timing I want. Almost 23. Let's do one more bash and enter at 54 on the clock. I did a lot of math beforehand to like get a rough idea on what I want here. But I also already did a lot of attempts, so part of it is just feeling. 54 on the clock, one more bash. One moment, so I don't forget my number. Okay, and now I caught a projectile here. Both of them are in the room, so this is what I want. But this is far from over, because now I have to bring both of those projectiles through the escape, and I have to juggle them without losing either. Okay, I got them past the first falling rock. Let's get them around the second falling rock. Okay. Swap to the other one. It's the first tight corridor, but this one is pretty doable because it just only slightly curves. Just have to swap projectiles sometimes, so I redirect both of them. Huge open room. This corridor is tricky because it, like, has some tight edges, which definitely makes it harder to get both of them around. Let me swap so this doesn't break on the floor. I need to do a zigzag here. This is too far in front. Hopefully the camera will move in time. Oh, also... this one's gonna hit the ceiling. I gotta save it from that. Get them both up. Okay. Now I have them both at the lava pillar. And the reason I bring them here is because there will be two walls which block my way that I have to break. Swap. This one is about to break on the ceiling. Here I have to stay behind the projectiles. Otherwise a log will fall and break the one that's on the back. Perfect. Aim this. Oh, I wanna swap to the other one, please. First wall broken. Okay, second wall coming up. Now I lose my projectile, so I swap to the elemental. Cool. I have to zigzag a bit, because the camera doesn't want to follow yet until Kuro jumps into the air again. Okay, now to get this fish out of the water. Oh my god, kind of just dropped that bash. I managed to skip the Kuro kill plane, that's really cool. Let's go up here and catch some rock. There's no way to fail this. Here we go. Incredible! What a mind-blowing final trick to end Ori's bizarre adventure on. Unbelievable, to be honest. That's the bash-only escape. Hi Henry, hi Guard. Hi Grem, hi Dudu, hi Driferano. Thank you all for the GGs. That was incredible. It really was. Alright. I had my doubts, but that was probably my favorite trick of the plan though. Won't deny. Done! In 77 hours, 39 minutes and 30 seconds. undescribably satisfying to finish Ori's Bizarre Adventure. Now do it in 35 hours. I feel like if you just played this Plandomizer again, you would get it below 35 hours, yeah? A lot of it was science. I mean, that was one of the most enjoyable experiences I had with Blind Forest, so I would say, yeah, there's a chance I'll come back, play it again someday. Definitely not right now, though. For now, I will rest in peace on my satisfaction of completion. Look! All the tiny Oris. Or, like, I don't know their names. I do know your name, though. You're cool. Oh look, it's custom credits! Plando by Dr. Tuan, edited by Cosmic Angel. Yeah, thank you so much to Dr. Tuan and Cosmic Angel for piecing together this incredible journey. So, what's the stats like? I don't know if the stats actually work if you copy and delete save files that much. Thank you, Tuan, for the congratulations. Congratulations on completing Ori's Bizarre Adventure. You've proven yourself to be a master of the obscure, a flexible mind, a highly skilled player, and at least a little bit insane. Sure. If I need a little bit of insanity to experience this kind of satisfaction on completing grand adventures, I shall take it. Well, like, the stats definitely don't work, because I have not finished in 28 hours, thank you very much, and I had way more than 4,700 deaths. Yeah, I guess we won't have stats then on, like, how many deaths I had where, unfortunately. I guess we will have stats on when I found the skills, though. That should still work here. No, because it assumes this time. Nah, that's unfortunate. Stats were not made for this amount of save file copying. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum. Bum, da-dum, ba-da-ba-bum, bum, ba-dum. La, ba-da-dum, da. Yeah, this isn't right. Scusi? I've never seen stats this broken before. I guess the skill removals really messed with it. Hey look, I finished with 0 skill fights at all. Isn't that cool? Sure. Yeah, the skill removals are probably more than the stat code could handle. And the copies, and just all the crazy stuff happening throughout this Plandomizer. Bum, ba, dum, ba. To be continued. All pickups were DT Blast, so probably entirely different code path. Huh. Right, because it was like, there was an attempt to encrypt the seed file. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Very nice. I can't wait to watch the other players play the Plando. Hopefully there will at least be some others that enjoy the journey as much as I do as soon as they get past Node 9. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, da-dum, da. Alright, I shall rest now and enjoy my success. Tuan can also sleep now. I think it's almost 4 AM by now on his side. To everyone who was here, or in any of the other streams, thank you so much for the accompaniment. I hope I could share some of my joy in playing this Plandomizer with you. Alright, that was my project. Can't tell you when I'll stream again, because that project is now done. Someday, it will just happen. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Great work, thank you. Until then, I wish every one of you a wonderful time. And see you around. Bye bye.